am so bad with business. Like, I just didn't realize what my worth was at the time. And a lot of companies do this. It's not just Artesian, right? Though, I will say that I did ask Destiny about it, right? Because Destiny is also sponsored by them. And he was like, oh, yeah, they're good. So, you know, it's all your fault, Destiny. God damn it. Holy, I have a huge thing to cover today. So there's two main topics for today. The first one is the Artesian builds drama, right? Which is, a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people in the politics kind of sphere don't really know about this, but this story is huge. Like, I'm telling you, you had major people like Linus, even Intel, the company Intel commented on this drama, okay? It's a bit of an awkward situation for me because my PC was built by Artesian Builds recently. I was an affiliate for them, so I had a working relationship with them, and I watch their streams. I'm a fan of their streams. So I'm involved in a weird way, and so I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with Artesian Builds. Now, I'm going to give my voice a break, so I'm going to let this cool YouTuber, so this guy is named Onepeg. He made this video kind of explaining the beginning of the situation, just so you guys can get a rudimentary understanding of what started this entire drama.
Beautiful YouTube Tarkovians, my name is Onepeg, and this video is not about Escape from Tarkov, but it's about the Escape from Tarkov community. There's an awful lot of us that...
I guess he's an Escape from Tarkov player.
Use this one particular vendor named Artesian Builds, either as a vendor for our own computers or as an affiliate. We are an affiliate of them. Well, I'm not, but a lot of community content creators are. And for that, they get a discount code that they can share with people and some other very, very minor perks, much as the affiliate agreements that, I guess, exist when it comes to PC builders. See, there isn't a lot of margin when it comes to PC builds. The majority of the money that somebody is going to make comes in a labor fee, anywhere between $50 and a couple of $100, depending on who's doing the labor and what the labor fee is from company to company. Suffice to say that if you're a decent company, the entire margin for a PC build is somewhere around 5%, which means on a $4,000 PC, they're making about $200.
This is actually the reason why there aren't a lot of PC build companies. I was actually shocked when I was looking to have my PC built. I knew I didn't want to build it myself. Because I was looking for an SFF, which means a small form factor, like a really tiny computer, and I knew it would be too challenging for me to be able to do it myself like I had previously. So I wanted an expert to do it, and it was shocking to me how hard it was to find someone to build it, right? There are just very few PC builders out there. There are a few companies that do it, and for what you would think.
So it becomes a high-volume business. We'll enter Artesian Builds. They're a few-year-old company where they do custom gaming builds for content creators primarily as their source of marketing. They sponsor people like Mr. Beast, Nick Merckx. Up until very recently, they sponsored Pestily, Veritas in the Tarkov community, and Willers, just to name a few. And Gingy, actually. Now, there's an awful lot of content creators, an awful lot more.
They also sponsored Destiny, and who is a little more relevant to probably a lot of the viewers here. And I was an affiliate, but I wasn't a partner, but I also wasn't a full affiliate. I was kind of in between. I had a weird role within the company, which I'll explain later.
That were involved with Artesian Builds, because they send out these boilerplate messages to people that have even some remote level of following, asking them to become an affiliate, where they, for free, get to very passively promote the Artesian Builds brand. And if one of the PCs sells, they make anywhere between $40 and $160. So reads the DM that you get on Twitter, like mine. Now, I turned them down because something didn't feel right. And then lo and behold, something didn't go right. See, yesterday, Noah Katz, CEO.
I think I just have terrible business sense. I have been offered sponsorships from tons and tons of companies. The most I was offered was from Raid Shadow Legends, which offered me a ton of money, and I decided not to do it. And I accepted Artesian's offer, not because it was good, but because I liked the company. I liked the people who worked there. I liked the stream. I wanted to support a smaller company doing this. I also really needed a new computer, and it just kind of worked out where I was like, okay, it's not a good deal for me, but I need a new computer. They're going to give me money off a computer. That's what I need right now. Why not? I am so bad with business. I just didn't realize what my worth was at the time. And a lot of companies do this. It's not just Artesian, right? Though, I will say that I did ask Destiny about it, right? Because Destiny's also sponsored by them. And he was like, oh, yeah, they're good. So, it's all your fault, Destiny. God damn it.
He talks to chat while somebody else builds a PC, or maybe he builds a PC once in a great while. They end up doing giveaways. This time they ended up doing a giveaway for people that are involved with their affiliate program.
Something I noticed also about their giveaways. So they do these regular giveaways for all their affiliates. And I've watched a lot of those giveaways. I've never won. But something that sucked about the affiliates is that, I just noticed that a lot of the same people would win over and over again. I remember there was one stream where Noah, who's the CEO, and he kind of leads the stream, he almost gets embarrassed. You can see it on his face that the same person won. And they kept rechecking it to make sure it was correct, and then they ended up still giving it to him. And I just it seemed to just be a regular thing that this guy just keeps winning. I was like,
Caught fire, and we found somebody finally being taken to task for this. This streamer named Kia Pia, who can be found right here, who streams live on Twitch on a semi-regular basis, not the most regular streamer in the world, clearly doesn't do it for a living. Kia won a PC.
Shots fired.
Based on the criteria that were set forth by Artesian. See, very recently, Kia's About Me section used to include an affiliate
Her hair is really cute.
banner for Artesian builds. It's no longer, for the reasons that I'm about to share with you. When Kia won the giveaway, the moment that Kia won the giveaway, the only criteria that was established, other than being an affiliate of Artesian builds, was that you had to have a banner in your About Me section linking you and your affiliate code to Artesian builds should someone decide that they wanted to build a PC. But live and in real time, Noah Cat.
Oh, what I was going to say is that part of the incentive of to get people to be an affiliate is because you're joining a club. And this is how they incentivize it. And I would argue that this seems much more worth it, especially to smaller streamers, than the monetary aspect, right? I think everyone's focusing on the monetary aspect, and that's why they're like, oh, you're getting such a shit deal. Why would anyone accept that? But to smaller streamers, networking is everything. And the big thing that they offer you is they offer you this ability to network. And this is a huge part of how they sell it, right? That they'll connect you to the Artesian build family. This is what they call it. And so you join the family, and it's it's a special Discord server. You get a special role. You get a part of this special Twitter group. You get listed on them, and you get to know the other, everyone else, and you kind of all get to network and stuff. Damn, this sounds sketch. I know it sounds. When I say it, it sounds so bad. But in my head, I was like, anyways. I misunderstood some aspects of this, but that's a huge part of why people accept these deals, even though they recognize they're bad, right? And also, when they make your PC, they stream it live, right? To 500 viewers. That's a huge selling point too of getting a PC from them and also being an affiliate. Because when they're making the PC, I'll show you guys here. Yeah, this is them making my PC right here. And when they're making their PC, they often have your name in the title, and they're talking about you and all this kind of stuff. So it feels like it's going to be a great PR opportunity too. So you're kind of getting that as a part of the deal. That's why, even though I knew I wasn't getting a good financial deal and going with them, it felt like it still felt like overall a win, which I don't know if I would say that now.
And acting like twice the douche, decided that he was going to change the rules.
2K followers is under my threshold.
Okay. Restart this because it's so bad. So she does this. So they roll it, right? And Kia Pia, I forget her name. She wins.
2K followers is under my threshold. 3 days ago is within my threshold. Long streams, which is good.
See, I would have 100% failed this test if I won. He would have been hasn't streamed in a month, does short streams, talks about history. Who cares about that?
An Artesian builds active panel.
Notice he said Artesian builds active panel. That was the only rule. He then goes into all of Kia's analytics. Starts hitting up Twitch.
This is the bad part. In my opinion, this is the really bad part. Like when I was watching this, I was like, oh man, Noah. Noah is the guy that's talking in Artesian Builds. He's the CEO. And there's a part, so a huge fear of mine with streaming is the analytics, right? Is especially when you stream and you get a lot of viewers, you know you're not going to get the same amount the next time. And you're always being judged by it. And so it's one of those things that like every streamer, like we all judge ourselves by our analytics and by how many views we get and when things go down and things go up. And it's something we're all thinking about privately. It's kind of like how everyone's insecure about their weight secretly, but it's very rare that you hear people say it out loud, like in a professional setting. So what Noah was doing here, when he starts getting to the analytics in a public setting, it was kind of like the streamer equivalent of like calling people fat, like at like a dinner reception or something in front of people. Like it's something that people think about privately, but just saying it out loud was like, if I had been Kia Pia, I would have cried. Like I would have 100%, the tears would have come out of my eyes. I would have felt humiliated. Especially like you already judge yourself by it, and then to have it publicly named that in front of like 500 viewers, it's going to suck.
Starts hitting up all of her socials and starts scrutinizing whether or not the marketing amount of money that goes into the PC build was justifiable in giving the PC away to Kia. Meaning Kia may or may not, at this point in his head, have enough reach to be able to give the PC away, which again was not part of the giveaway criteria. And it gets worse. At one point, he even goes so far as to say that in order for it to be justifiable in his mind, that Kia needed to have at least a 50 concurrent viewer floor, which means you, as a content creator, in order to be able to win this PC, would have to have at least 50 viewers on average throughout the entire course of any one or all of your streams over 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it was that he was looking at. But that, again, was not part of the giveaway criteria. Keep that in mind. And if that isn't bad enough, let us all bask in the warm glow of his extremely punchable, douchebaggy face as he then fist pumps the air to determine his justification.
Sid Machinery, honestly, you couldn't have taken the words out of my mouth more. Like, this is something that I want to get into, is I actually feel a lot of the criticism about Artesian builds is hypocritical. And so I'm going to get into that afterwards, but 100% I agree with you. 100%. Very, very good observation there.
Justification as to why it is that he's denying Kia her prize.
These babies.
Oh, and there's the reroll.
So, okay, it looks like Noah's a total asshole here. Like, let's be real, right? Like, it looks kind of like that, but I also think, like, Noah sometimes just doesn't realize how it looks when he's doing it. I think he's literally just thinking, like, let's just re-roll it, and he's happy with the re-roll, but he doesn't realize how that's coming off.
Here's the reason, chatterbabies. This person has 3 months.
Sid Machinery, I agree.
Months of ambassadorship and not a single click.
Really, bro?
3 months of ambassadorship and not a single click.
Yo, okay, I can't stop it.
So the giveaway.
Like when Noah says that, I was like, ooh, you know what? To be honest, I've got like, look right now, right? I have, I don't know, 270 or something viewers right now. Like when I stream, I do pretty good, right? And I haven't checked my clicks for my code for Artesian builds, but I actually have a feeling I would not be surprised if I have 0 clicks for it. Like I would honestly not be surprised if no one used my code, even with my amount of viewers, which is like, I don't know, which would be a lot compared to, I don't know, someone with like 10 viewers. And I have some theories about that, which I'll get into. But so that's why like blaming it on the streamer and on how big they are, it's just so irrelevant. I don't think Destiny gets thousands of people viewing his stream. I don't think many people click his link either. No offense to Destiny. I just, and the main reason for this, in my opinion, right? Like, what were the main reasons why you didn't click my link for Artesian builds? Like, before all this drama, I really think 99% of it is money. Is the price is just too high. So when you go and you click, like when you go make your build on there, you end up with almost, when I made my build on there, my build ended up being almost double what it would be to build it myself. Like, and you always expect to pay a bit of a premium because someone else is literally using their labor to buy it for you. But it was like, you don't expect like $1,000 more, right? And I think that that's what, it's very hard for streamers like to sell that. So it, like him getting mad at a smaller streamer for not being able to get someone to, to click on it. It's like, it's not always the streamer's fault. Sometimes like the product you're selling is just too expensive.
The way that it was broken down to basically says that this person was an ambassador, an affiliate of theirs for 3 months, and no one clicked on the link. And for that reason, they're denying the prize. From a marketing standpoint, every company scrutinizes numbers. There's nothing wrong with scrutinizing numbers when it comes to marketing dollars. People need to be able to justify the money that they're spending. It depends on...
It's true. It's important to remember Artesian Builds is a for-profit company operating in Twitch. So they're for-profit. They're not a charity, right? So like people being surprised that they're trying to think monetarily is like crazy.
Reach depends on who you're going to be able to contact. If you're going to be an influencer, you have to have people to influence that.
I built my PC for $1,600 and adding, not factoring in the fancy lighting, the base parts were like $600 or more. Yeah, things get a little more messy when it comes to some specific parts that are really high in demand, especially GPUs or like graphics cards, where GPUs are so in demand right now. And the prices were for them were way worse when I was ordering my PC. So a lot of things that you're paying for is like the ease of use of getting access to a GPU that's hard to get access to. And also the prices for them are just wild, right? Like if you're comparing what Artesian's paying to what, you can get at like the base price, you're probably never going to be able to get, like I would have never been able to get access to a 3080 Ti at base price. Like, no way.
Just how this game is played. The problem here is not that. The problem here is that he is modifying the criteria of the giveaway in the midst of doing the giveaway. And what's worse is at no point did he think to himself, gee, this isn't really humanistic of me. I should probably just treat this person better. I'm going to take a loss.
Is humanistic a word? I think what he should be thinking of, right? In terms of, and this is what I would tell him as like, if I was his PR manager, I'd be saying the best thing, the thing that like you really sell, because you're not selling a good priced PC, right? You want to sell your brand. Like your brand is going to be everything here. And so, yeah, like take the financial hit when it comes to, giving away a PC to someone that's not bringing you a lot of money. But having a good PR, that's everything for your brand. And that's how you're going to get people coming back to you and sharing and telling everyone to buy from you because they're going to be proud to have your logo on their computer. That's huge in the PC world. The PC buyers they like to think that they're better than any girl going for a designer purse. That is not true. People love name brands. Okay? And building out that brand should have been 100% the focus.
Loss on it, but this is just the decent thing to do. I mean, they won the PC, right? Nah. And then he went so far as to say, since no one has clicked on the link, that must mean that Kia's community as a whole isn't valuable. So after all of this...
Yeah, that's the part that really kind of like hurt. That I could imagine really hurt. Like, her kind of just getting her entire community just like shit. Like, oh, well, you haven't made us money. And not thinking there's a 2-part game here, right? Like whenever like a streamer accepts like some kind of partnership, like your job is to try to sell it, but the product has to be good, right? It has to be good to sell it. And if your product's like overpriced or you haven't worked on your brand enough, right? There's going to be some consequences to that.
The internet, myself, and a whole bunch of other people get wind of it, and then they start chiming in. no one's happy. Mass exodus. People like Hestily decide that they're jumping ship. A lot of content creators decide that they're no longer going to be associated.
What he missed here is Kia tweets out her like this clip of Noah kind of saying that and kind of being a douche, right? And so he tweets that out, and it just goes viral. Everyone starts looking at it. I was shocked when I saw the amount of numbers that were on it. It was just absolutely crazy how big it started to get. And she went from being this tiny streamer and to being honestly fucking huge. Like, she streamed and she was getting thousands of viewers, and I'm honestly so happy for her, right? It's like one of those weird ironies. Okay, you guys know one of my favorite ironies in history is when Henry VIII is like, he's so focused on getting a son because he just wants England to stop being this backwater. He wants he wants like a child that's going to defeat all the major like European powers and bring England and establish an empire. And and he was so focused on having a son to do that, and it ends up being his daughter that does it. Right? He gets everything he wants, but from a daughter, Elizabeth. It's one of those weird ironies that like Noah just like made her feel so terrible and so small and shit on her for her metrics. And as a consequence of her speaking out about it, she ended up being huge. Like, she now gets thousands, like everyone was talking about her, right? And then on top of that, you have these major streamers and major YouTubers like J2Sense and stuff giving her a free PC. So much so that she ended up rejecting Artesian when they later went back on it and changed their minds. It's just absolutely, it's like a happy irony, that she ended up, like, she got rejected for having no reach. She ended up having an insane amount of reach. And it's just like kind of a positive feeling from that.
Associated with Artesian. Now, in the midst of this, 45 minutes after he makes that initial assessment and decides that he's denying someone, people naturally are like, why?
Kia.
I don't understand. Why would you not give that away? To which he doubles down and justifies his position by saying the following.
This is a
Okay, I'm going to make it slower for this part because Noah already talks fast.
two-way street. You scratch our backs, we shine your shoes. You make us a handmade leather belt, we give you a new hat. It's mutualism. In nature.
Okay, a handmade leather belt is worth a lot more than a new hat. I'm just saying.
Sure. You're a Mora on the belly of the shark.
You're a Mora on the belly of a shark. So who's the shark? You? I guess he's the shark in this case? Well, that would make sense considering that smaller content creators are still trying to figure out ways to be able to monetize their content. And our boy here is, according to his Instagram anyway.
That's how I would kill. I would love to do PR for Artesian Builds. I really feel like I could have helped them. God damn it.
Driving a BMW i8 that retails for $147,000. Yeah. Well, let's see what else he has to say about this. I can't wait to hear more about his justification.
We want to work together, but can't afford to give away epic multi-$1,000 free PCs.
We can't afford to give away epic multi-$1,000 free PCs while he drives around in a $147,500 supercar that they only make a handful of every year. Go on. I can't wait to hear more.
I don't even know how he recognized that car. Like, I don't know anything about cars. I just thought that was like a Tesla or something.
Perhaps we'll get so lucky as to hear him plug his sponsor.
Partially sponsored by Intel and Pixio. Thanks so much. You guys are great.
Partially sponsored by Intel and Pixio. Thanks so much. You guys.
Okay. So they were partially sponsored by Intel. Intel literally comes out against them, and I'm pretty sure pulled the partnership as a consequence of this. So I'm going to spoil it. Like, as a consequence of this entire drama, Artesian Builds basically folds almost as a company. Like, it's a disaster. They're looking now to have like a full buyout. It's absolutely crazy. The reaction to just like this clip and this whole thing just inspires a lot of people to start looking into Artesian Builds and being critical of them and all that stuff.
Guys are great. Yeah. So in the midst of trying to make somebody feel like complete dog shit, he ends up pulling the swing.
That's too much in your opinion. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's too much. I think they deserve criticism, but like the level at which they got it, like, holy shit, right? It's absolutely crazy. When you think about it, what he did was he mocked someone. He was kind of a douche. He wasn't like, this guy didn't like sexually assault someone or like do something that we see other companies. I mean, unfortunately, that's where the fucking bar is. But this was a reaction that was harsher than when we've seen people literally get accused of sexual assault and stuff, which I find really interesting.
Swagger move and thanking Intel and Pixio and dragging them into his tirade about how people aren't worthy of winning a giveaway that they were absolutely legally entitled to at this point. And he's literally committing fraud right now. But continue. Go on.
Epic free PCs to just any old body.
To just any old buddy. And then he goes on to talk about the types of people that are involved in these types of programs.
We give you the tools, the technology, the frames, the trust.
We give you a free website that costs us next to nothing to produce with an automated onboarding system that gives you the ability to offer an affiliate link to just about any old buddy. So technically speaking, we do work with just about any old buddy. Go on.
Some of you are normal and make a few referrals. Some of you don't make any. Some of you are Braythorns.
So then he goes on to talk about some dude named Braythorn that apparently has referred a shit ton of PC builds to Artesian, and he loves this guy Braythorn or whatever. But yeah, he said some of you are normal and some of you don't refer us any business. So I'm going to scrutinize the shit out of you live on Twitch for whatever size audience I have at the time to make sure that you understand in front of an entire audience of your peers why it is that I'm not giving you anything, even after you want it, based on the rules that I set. And I should be giving this to you, but I don't want to because I can't afford it as I drive around my $147,500 sports car. Yeah. Let's not even talk about the LinkedIn page where he says that he's sold multi-million-dollar enterprise-level deals for Bitcoin mining farms. It has nothing.
Yeah, like, I think this is a little unfair. Okay, everyone's kind of a douche on their LinkedIn profiles. Okay, it's like your job. That's what you literally have to do that. You're supposed, especially in the tech world, like they all like fucking say like, oh, like I changed the entire world by like, you know, inventing a new color of Chrome for this type of PC.
Nothing to do with referrals or affiliate codes or whatever. And
I do hardware and software incredibly unique, okay?
Is still underneath the Artesian umbrella, and that you could easily justify a $3,000 marketing expense that he as a business would be able to write off in his taxes when he filed them to the tune of 30 or 40%, depending on what his corporate tax bracket is. So it's really only going to cost him like maybe...
No, hell, I know exactly what you mean. Like, yeah, it's like the programmer thing.
$2,000, maybe $1,500, because it would have been a pure business expense for him to do that giveaway, which he easily would have made up for in marketing clout by saying that they support all streamers. Anyway, if that wasn't bad enough, he tripled down and then wrote some tweets basically saying that I'm here. Sorry about how things went.
The tweets were bad. I'm not going to lie to you. The tweets were bad. Noah, you should have come to me for PR, okay? So these are the tweets. Hey, Twitter sphere, I'm really sorry for the way we did parts of the giveaway today. We've given a lot of people a lot of awesome free tech, and that's not going to stop. If you want to talk, I'm here. That's kind of the point of being live so much. And then he says everyone in the affiliate ambassador program is eligible to get awesome free stuff and earn more money from referrals. It costs nothing to join. You can always, it does cost something to join, right? Because you're advertising their product. So I don't think that's completely honest. You can always go and chat with me live on Twitch. That's true. I've talked for a long time about being transparent about everything. It's live after all. I do think it's interesting. Like, I do think that they should get points for building live thing. Like, that's a huge part of what you're paying for, is that they're building it live on stream. And so you can see that they're, whether or not they're doing something that's quality or if they're doing like shoddy shit, because they're getting judged by like, you know, hundreds of people.
But I am who I am. That's how it's always been. I'm just this way. Like, I'm transparent. This is how everyone acts. No, it's not. It's not how everyone acts. Affiliate deals are already predatory in nature because it costs the brand absolutely nothing to onboard an affiliate. Noah trying to say that he can't afford it or that the business can't afford it is complete bullshit. They're one of the largest PC builders that exist in this space. Now, Jay's 2 cents came in and decided that he was going to build a PC for Kia, and it's supposedly...
Okay. That's not completely what this guy said. I don't think they're the largest in Twitch, but that's like when I say that I'm the largest history streamer on Twitch, okay? Which I am. I'm the largest history streamer. Like, can you imagine, like, she should afford a Tesla, okay? Because, wait, that's a bad example because he actually does have a Tesla, doesn't he? Okay. Well, that's like someone assuming that I'm rich because I'm the biggest history streamer on Twitch. It's like, it's not that big of a bar, bro. Like, it's not that high. I don't know. Like, it's just, that was a little weird. I mean, they only get around 500 viewers, and just in general, it's just not very popular. It's not huge to watch, like, PC builders. It's not like they're getting thousands of views or something like that. So I think that that's a little, like, I never thought of them as like this super wealthy, incredibly wealthy company. I always assumed that Noah had earned most of his money from when he did like Bitcoin mining shit. But I mean, I have no clue. I don't run their financials.
Going to be amazing. Cooler Master came in and said that they were sorry. They apologized on behalf of Artesian and said that they were going to send Kia some...
That's what's so crazy. This thing got so big that the companies that make this equipment literally publicly make statements against it. That's wild, man. Like, it's just so ironic that Kia was accused of having no reach, yet she somehow reached these people.
Some stuff, which is awesome. So there's a lot of love that's come out of this. Kia's stream today was over 800 or 900 concurrent live viewers. She's doing great, I guess, on the back end of this, and I hope she continues to thrive. But in a laughably final conclusion, an hour ago, they finally put out an actual apology. I will commit my full attention to create a new guideline that will reflect on Artesian Build's values to fully support all our viewers and customers to allow each person on the platform.
The statements I made regarding the update giveaway were made under the wrong circumstances and were in no way appropriate. Like, he takes full responsibility here. Probably should have said that from the beginning. We would like to be able to provide new guidelines in the future that will allow everyone to participate. During this time, I will commit my attention to create a new guideline. Yeah, and I think the one thing that's missing from this to me is the big thing that's missing is like a video apology. Here's the video apology. The audio is bad and it's from his end, not mine, okay? For some reason, they use like the wrong mic or something to pick up the audio.
Last night on our platform on Twitch, a platform that many amazing creators helped me to create in no small part, I glossed over a few amazing creators in a PC giveaway, and I absolutely should not have done that. And I did it in a stupid way. Really stupid way. I'm extremely sorry about that. Kia, Strawberry, Protege, and any others who are hurt by this. I would not intend that for you, ever.
Okay. The words in the apology, legit. I think they're great. And saying that you did something stupid, I think that's great. I wish that there had been an explanation. Like, I wish there would have been an explanation. And then a recognition. Something that you always want to see in an apology is like an explanation and then a recognition of why that explanation is not an excuse. You combine those things, that's always a solid apology. The second thing that you also want that he's not doing is like facial things, which, you know, maybe he should use a VTuber, okay? I've got lots of faces that I can do, like this, okay? Or like that, or this is my favorite, right?
So sorry.
Yeah, so like when he ends up saying so sorry, like the words are great, but he eventually just, and this just makes me think like, maybe he's a good CEO. Like most CEOs would not be able to stream. You have to have a specific type of personality to be able to like stream and not have people hate you every single time you say a word. I don't know what that's like, but I hear that that's what people need to do. And I think this is just like a lesson that he probably should have been more behind the scenes person, right? Like, yeah, and because it sucks when you're doing a video and when you're streaming to all these people, every part of your mannerisms gets judged, and it's a fucking social anxiety nightmare. Most people can't do that shit, right? You have to somehow be like, every little thing, like where your eyes go and stuff are going to be judged. And so like a part of me is with social anxiety, I feel bad for the criticism he got for this. But not everyone's going to be good at everything, right?
That's not how anyone should be treated. We have a platform capable of building people up. And we're going to use that platform going.
I think it's important. I wish he would have harped on this part more about the building people up, because what he did was he built someone down. He didn't just, I really think the rejecting someone from winning, everyone says that that was like fraud and stuff. Like, I think that they could have said that they had actually like changed the rules previously and they had mentioned it in a previous stream or something like that. I think like, and honestly, like I've won so many things and then had it taken away from me. It's like happened a lot in my life. Okay. Like I remember, okay. Do you remember when those like Coke bottles, there used to be like a thing under the cap? I once opened the cap and it said I won $1 million. Okay. I didn't get that $1 million. I don't remember what happened, but they had some excuse. Like that shit happens all the time. But to me, like that wasn't the really bad part. The really bad part was why he did it, you know, and how he did it. Like saying, like just getting into her analytics, he started saying like, "Ooh, I'm trying to be nice. I'm combining your Twitter followers and your YouTube followers, and it's still not enough." Right? Like he really humiliated her. Like it was, and I think that's why everyone was just shocked by it. Like it was like bullying. It was bullying, right?
Going forward to do an even better job of building people.
And let's be honest, okay? If there's something all Twitch viewers have in common is being bullied, okay? We know what it's like. It sucks.
Up, never tearing them down. It will not happen again. So going forward, any ambassador is eligible to win the PCs.
Ooh, that was bad. Did you see that? He sighed right before.
In the PCs. Any ambassador at all? Right back to the rules that we had in place before. Right back to the PCs. Any ambassador at all? So going forward, any ambassador is eligible to win the PC.
Oh, man. Session for, you know, he might have sighed just because like he had a thing in his throat. But, fuck, man. I would have not put out this video. Why did they look at this and like said, why didn't he have someone be like, Noah, man, you got to do it again?
PCs. Any ambassador at all? Right back to the rules that we had in place before. And we're going to do everything that we can to do an even better job of helping creators to create and helping the community that we built to be a more inclusive and valuable place to be. I don't really do videos like this a lot, and I don't really know what to say. But I'm extremely sorry, and I wouldn't.
I actually think that part of the video is good. There's some vulnerability there. And I almost feel like that's the first time he had some expressions on his face. I almost wish the whole video had been like what he just said. Where he says like he doesn't do videos like this a lot. Like this is, I wish he had kind of really doubled down on that vulnerability. Because when you're getting an apology, that's what a real apology needs to be vulnerable.
I want to have been treated that way. Stupid. Super stupid.
This is a really good part of the apology. He should have started out with this.
Super stupid. And I won't do it again. I'm an influencer, but I'm also an executive. And those boundaries.
Okay, I wish I could have given Noah some help here, man. You think it sounds fake? Okay, this is what I would have said. So I would have said, guys, I fucked up. I fucked up hardcore. I let like a toxic environment seep into me, and I like put that out, and I humiliated someone in the process, and I honestly feel disgusted with myself. Like that's how I would have started out that apology. Okay, we'll continue this one. First, the apology. The apology has since been completely deleted off their channel.
I know what to do. I appreciate all the feedback from all of you. We spent some time looking at all of it, ingesting, thinking. We will do better. Thank you for your patience, and we hope to create amazing things together real soon.
Yeah, I think he like should have focused more on the morals than on it just being stupid. But either way, I think it was still vulnerable, and I appreciated that part. So, anyways, this video is almost the worst thing they could have done. The consequence of this video is it just goes way more viral. And then there's a huge, literally like a massive thread on LSF about this. Sorry for the wait, I'm not signed in here. So yeah, so this whole thread gets like made on Artesian builds, like, and this is fucking like massive. Like, I'm telling you, this shit it's just huge. Everyone's talking about it. And my heart was just breaking for the people working at Artesian, because I know some of them and they're like really good people. A lot of them just like, they just love building PCs. They love the tech. They love being surrounded by all this tech. And it just fucking sucks, right? And anyways, and so everyone starts commenting on this. Christopher Lee, famously kind of like, you know, he comments on it. And people get frustrated because I guess he's technically a competitor. Like, I think he also makes his own PCs, but it makes sense. And he says that he's had to fix a lot of Artesian builds. But he makes this argument that, like, he starts arguing that the Artesian builds themselves are really, really bad. And that they like throttle their own PCs and all that stuff. I haven't seen evidence for that. My PC is amazing. And so I'll show you guys my PC. Right, like this is my PC. Made by Artesian Builds. Please click the link. I'm kidding. I'm not an ambassador for them anymore. Yeah, it came with a warranty. The warranty means shit. All right. So this is my PC. I'm looking at it right now. I fucking love this thing. Like, I love it to death. It's like my baby. Yeah, it's got an Artesian build thing. Maybe that'll be worth money in 30 years when people are like looking into Twitch history. But it runs amazing now. And like, I've had computer experts look at it and they're like, this thing is built really well. So I'm very happy with my PC. I'm happy with the end product. And all of that stuff. But it was hell to get here. And so now I'm going to talk about my own experience with them. So I go with, Dusty recommends Artesian, and I really wanted a small form factor PC. I did not end up getting a small form factor PC. So the main reason why I went to them didn't end up happening. I wanted a tiny little PC that was like minimalist. I'm really into minimalism with like my aesthetic and stuff. And so I wanted something really, really tiny. It didn't work out. And I know how to build my own PC. Like, I'm not like terrible with tech, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to make it in a small form factor. Now, small form factors are really, really tiny. So you have to be really, really good, with building. Like, even people who are really good builders really struggle to build within those tiny cases, and build effectively. And I just didn't want to take on the responsibility. I especially didn't know if like certain parts would work with it, and I just didn't want to go through the whole process. And I would rather, I made the decision that I don't mind paying a premium if it means getting a smaller form factor. That's just better, right? Like, that's more that I just know is going to work. So I decided to go with them. And also, I just figured they'd approach me with to do like a partnership with them. I thought what they were sending me was a partnership request. I didn't realize it was an affiliate request. I didn't realize there was like a difference. So I actually thought what I was doing was the same thing that Destiny had done. And that was complete my naivety. I didn't realize that that they had like thousands and thousands of these affiliates, and they accepted people who had like streamed once ever. Like, I thought that this was just a classic sponsorships kind of deal, and they were going to really push me, and I would be kind of like alongside their other streamers. I didn't realize that they were putting me in like the B tier, which sucked. Again, I don't know much about money, so it's like I didn't realize how bad the deal was. I just didn't really care about the money. I was more concerned. I was excited about the fact that they're going to give me a lot of money off of the PC, and I needed a PC at the time. And they were going to advertise me because they were going to build my computer. It seemed like it was like a win-win when it came to what I needed. And so I figured I should just go with them. Why not? And I like the company. I watched their streams. I thought they were cool. I like Noah. And I really like the idea of being able to network with other streamers. I mean, they had streamers like Ms. Kiff and stuff there. turned out that was not the case. That you couldn't network at all in that world. They meant networking with the other affiliates that are all, again, most of them are people that get like 1 viewer or something like that. So again, they accept everyone, which was, again, very frustrating because that's just not what I thought I was getting into. But that was on me. I did not get it for free. I had to pay I ended up paying a little more than half. Anyways, I work with them to build my PC. I build it. And I thought that there would be more guidance on it because the main reason I was going to them was because I wanted their expertise. There was like no guidance. So I just built what I thought sounded good. And I figured if they approved it, it meant that it worked. Because I would have just built it myself if I was just going to like, get it with no expertise, right? Like I wanted them, especially I needed them to know, I wanted them to be able to tell me like, oh no, like you can't put that in there because that's going to mean you're going to have no airflow. Or I wanted them to be like telling me what was okay. Anyways, that didn't really happen. I paid for the PC. They gave me a lot of money off. I was happy with that because I needed a PC anyways. I realize now that I definitely got screwed. Then there started to be this whole thing about the GPU backplate. Now I pay, like part of the thing that I got with them was they were going to customize the PC. So they were going to like etch the glass, right? And they also, if you see here, this is the GPU backplate. They're going to give me a custom GPU backplate, which I thought was super cool and fun, right? So I order it and I'm supposed to get my PC built in like a month, which is still a long time to wait. A month goes by, the PC's not ready. Now, I ordered this in October. I ended up getting my PC in January. So, yeah, no, I would have been in trouble if I was you and trying to pick parts. No, like, Mix Layla, that's why I didn't mind paying a premium if they were going to like advise me on what to do properly, right? So I ordered in October. November comes and the parts aren't ready. And everything was ready except for the GPU backplate. So they said they were having some issue with their designer. A month later, like the beginning of December, it still hasn't panned out. And I'm like, hey, like I really wanted to get my PC by Christmas, And I was, at the time, my computer was, if you guys remember, was really struggling to run like my software and stuff, and it was causing me a lot of problems with streaming. And I don't know, like there were just like tons of excuses, and but I understood that they're a small company, so I figured when I get my PC, I'm still gonna be really happy. Anyways, we end up finally, I think it's at the end of January, beginning of February, they finally tell me it's the parts are ready and they're ready to make my PC live on stream, and so they make it live on stream. So, like, this is the video here.
Something like that.
And that's the PC. And you're probably looking at it and you're like, whoa, this, like, thing in the middle. That's not that. That's a different PC, right? That was this. I call it the smiley face from hell. Like, would this face not haunt you in your dreams? Anyways, they make this. And I remember watching it. And I had so much fun watching my PC get built. It was amazing how people contributed and they upgraded it and they made it amazing. My PC ended up being just fucking glorious. But I looked at it and I was like, wait, you can't even see the back plate. Like, I had waited month after month after month after month for this GPU backplate, and you couldn't see it. It was completely covered after everything. And I had asked them before, I was like, are you sure you're going to be able to see the backplate even in such a small build? And they were like, yeah. I also thought it looked kind of strange, right? Like, it didn't, I was like, I don't know, like, I know this case is known to have good airflow, but it's pretty strange. Anyway, so I messaged them about it, and I was told that I just had to contact Noah himself. And to be honest, I was relieved to finally get in contact with Noah, because I felt like when I dealt with other people, they were all incredibly kind, but they all had different information. There was like no good communication at the company. So I always had to like tell them, I couldn't just say my order number and they had all the notes ready. Like they would often tell me conflicting information from one employee to the other. And so I was kind of just relieved to finally get to the source himself, you know, the Noah, right? And so I start talking with Noah, and Noah is actually great. Now, granted, he's everything you saw on the YouTube in that video. He can be condescending, and he definitely was. And he could be a little rough around the edges. Like, he's not a super personable person, right? He's not like customer service type person. And I'm pretty sure he would tell you that himself. And he tells me like, oh, like not only he said about the build, right? And I found this weird, but I was also grateful at the same time because he's watching here. But when I contact him about like, you know, the issue of it being covered and concerned about it, he was like, I agree with you. I hate this build. Like he told me point blank, it sucks. Like it's a shitty PC and he didn't want to send it to me. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated the honesty. It was like I'd been struggling. I almost wished that I had dealt with him from the beginning. Again, no shade to his other employees. It just seemed like there's some communications issue. And finally I got to him and he like was super competent. He told me, he was like, there's no airflow in this PC. There's tons of problems. Honestly, the stuff that's in here, this build should have never been approved. There's too much in this tiny case. It can't fit it. This case can't handle that. We need to put you in another case. We need to change some stuff. And he was just being, insanely competent. Like he was just telling me every point we need to fix, everything we need to change. And the best part was he told me he was going to cover everything, like financially. So he, even though a lot of these changes cost way more money. So, he upgraded my case to a Lian Li Snow Mini, which was almost double the cost of this initial case. And he upgraded that for free. He upgraded the motherboard for free. He upgraded tons of things because I guess he recognized it was their mistake, right? So I was really, really happy. And I was like, just so grateful that I was dealing with him. But even though he's upgrading but he's definitely not, I was actually showing the email to one of my friends. He's a software engineer, but he knows a little bit about hardware. And he was reading the emails between me and Noah just so I could double check that everything was legit. Because I'm not really great with PCs. And my friend, and this is before all this drama, my friend was like, this guy's kind of an asshole. And I was like, what do you mean? He's so nice. He's giving me all this stuff for free, right? He's fixing everything. And he's like, well, I mean, number one, that should be a given because they fucked up. And number two, like he's basically blaming you for that. And I was like, no, he's not blaming me for it. He's like, no, like look at this, like you put too much in this PC, like, and he just kind of like read, and I could totally understand when I reread it. I realized like, how much there was definitely ways that Noah was talking to me that was condescending and acting like I made the mistake. I definitely got the feeling like he never at any point said like we messed up, we shouldn't have approved this, or I'm really sorry that this got approved. Like he made me feel bad almost for it being approved. Like I almost felt like, and I realized that he was kind of communicating to me that I was in trouble for making, like I made like a bad PC. He told me, he was like, honestly, everything you want, it can't be put into a small factor. Like we can't do that. And so he recommended the Lian Li, and so we upgraded everything, and then we ended up putting into this. It's still a small PC, but it's not a small form factor. It's not as tiny as I wanted it. Anyways, they end up finishing my PC within like 2 days. They take this professional photo of it, which was nice. And I get it. And I get it in the mail, right? This is not the end. This is not the end of the Artesian story. I get it. It comes so quickly. It was in like 2 days. I was so happy. I unpack it, and the glass is all scratched up. And it was weird because it was packed really, really well. So I was like shocked that the glass was like all scratched up. And I showed a bunch of pictures to my friends. You could kind of see actually in this photo that there's like scratches here, but in person it really showed. There's just like tons of scratches all over the front. And I showed my friends, and my friends are like, after everything they put you through, right, and all of this kind of stuff, and waiting, you get a PC you get a case that's just scratched up. And I was like, oh my god, this sucks. Anyways, okay, I messaged Noah, and Noah's actually like really, really nice. I don't know, maybe someone, like, I thought Noah was nice. Maybe I just do well with people like him. I messaged Noah, and I was like, hey, the PC's really scratched up. And he's like, well, okay. Like, he recommended how I could try to clean the glass. And then he said that if that didn't work, he'd give a brand new case and all that kind of stuff, right? And fix it. Though he made sure that I know that he would be paying for that case, right? And so that I feel bad about that. But he told me that he would fix it, right? Anyway, so I take his recommendation. I start cleaning it with alcohol. And as I'm cleaning the glass, right? And it's not cleaning anything. Like, it's not fixing anything. These scratches really seem embedded. And I have really short nails because I play guitar. Anyone who plays guitar, you know that you have to keep really, really short nails. So I never scratch anything with my nails, ever. Like, ever, okay? And I noticed that even my finger running across the glass just lightly as I was cleaning was scratching the glass. And I was like, wait, what the heck? This is acrylic. Why is it scratching the glass? Like, what the fuck is going on? Can anyone guess what the issue was? This was not an Artesian mistake. This was an Aristocracy mistake. It was still covered with the plastic, with the film. Okay, I thought I had done the peel. I didn't realize there was another peel, like on the other side. So what was all scratched up was the peel. But I swear the peel it was so embedded that I thought it was literally the glass. So I'm like the biggest idiot in the entire universe. And then I thought, you know what? No wonder Noah talked to me like I was an idiot. He probably has to deal with people like me every fucking day, all right? Probably sucks. So I messaged him like a huge apology because I felt terrible for like making him feel bad about the glass thing when it was really just like the etching. So I'm like, no, I'm so fucking sorry. But when I peeled it off, first of all, peeling off the film, great feeling, okay? When I peeled it off, it was beautiful. Immaculate, gorgeous. I love my PC, okay? I sleep with it every night. I make love to it. It's like, it's a very close relationship. So I didn't end up getting what I wanted. The entire reason why I went to them was moot. I didn't end up getting a tiny PC, but you know what? I still ended up being incredibly happy. The PC's a top, you know? I still ended up being incredibly happy because I ended up getting a case that was just super high quality. And it just ended up absolutely being beautiful. So, like, I still ended up being happy no matter what. But yeah, I do think that Noah probably, because they don't have customer service, like, he has to deal with everything. Like, they have to, and I just wonder, like, how many times situations like that happen where, like, I'm, like, mad at them about something and it turns out it's something dumb. Like, I haven't peeled off, like, the film. I purposely, when I, like, did the partnership with Artesian, I didn't push them too hard because, again, I knew how expensive they were and how overpriced. Like, again, you're paying like $1,000. And so I didn't want, and I had had such a shitty experience with how long it took. I felt bad. I didn't want to push on my viewers. So I'm no longer working with them. But I honestly hope that they, like, I don't think they're an evil company. I don't think Noah's evil. I think he's just not he's not a people person. He's honestly incredibly competent. Like, the minute I got to speak with him, he ended up providing me a great PC. Was he the nicest guy in the world? No. But he ended up fixing every problem and providing me something and making me really happy in the end. So I don't know. I understand people being mad at them, and 100%, like, I feel bad for Kia Pia and stuff. but I do think the reaction is being a bit overdone. They needed a kick in their pants, you know? They didn't need a fucking earthquake. Something that did bother me about the whole thing. There was a kind of like, you know, when you guys know, like, when you have like a shitty boyfriend or like a shitty ex, and then you find out he's been shitty to other people, there's like a kind of like weird joy in it. Like, you like, misery loves company, right? So there's a part of me that I was like, I didn't have a great experience initially with them. And so I was like, oh my God, that's kind of funny that other people, it's the same with other people. So at least I knew the problem wasn't completely me, even though I knew I was an idiot with the glass thing. But the reaction to this has just been absolutely wild. And it just got me thinking, like, everyone was so mad at Noah for talking about, the big thing was he made it so that the numbers were everything about her. And he judged Kia by her numbers. And everyone got so mad about that. And it's fucking shitty as fuck. But it just got me thinking, like, everyone on Twitch does this. Everyone on Twitch. It's like, it felt like we were in a fashion show. And one of the fashion writers, like, comments on a model's weight. And then everyone's like, ooh, she's fat shaming. But in reality, we're all, like, on fucking psycho diets. You know, everyone fat shames each other secretly. Like, he just said something out loud that everyone still thinks and everyone does. And what really got me was watching all these big streamers say, like, oh, like, they know what it was like when they were tiny, and to be treated like that by him, that's so shitty. If someone was small, was like, I don't know, if someone who has 5 viewers messaged J2Cents and said, hey, you know, like, can I come on your stream? Do you want to do a collab? I'm pretty sure J2Cents would say no. Or would not reply. Like, in reality, larger streamers always look at metrics before they even reply to another streamer. They're like, are you worth my time? Everyone judges, and like, your entire self-worth in this world is dependent on your numbers. It's just true. Yeah, but that doesn't have a narrative attached to it. And that's what I think in some ways it explains why people are so mad, because we all know it's a problem. And Noah from Artesian Builds ended up being a great sacrifice, like a scapegoat, basically, for what is a larger issue in both the Twitch and YouTube kind of creator community. There is a toxic attitude when it comes to follower count, when it comes to viewer numbers, self-worth, and hierarchies. Like, that's just really, really nasty. And it gets really nasty behind the scenes. You see it sometimes in front. Like, I mean, you saw it like the other day, like where like you have 2 streamers like Hodz and Destiny fighting over numbers and stuff. And it seemed like a joke, but in reality, like, streamers fight like that all the fucking time. And whoever has the larger number really is always the winner. There's like this larger issue, and I could tell you, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to cause drama. But when no one knew who I was, there were people who like didn't give me the time of day, or they talked to me with such disrespect. And the minute I started being more successful and I started getting over 100 viewers, and I reached start of like 200 viewers, things like that, suddenly those people were being nice to me. And they were paying attention to me. Like, and that's very common experience. In reality, they were doing exactly, like, those people did exactly what someone like Noah was doing. To be honest, there's a difference between making judgments based on numbers and trying to weasel yourself out of your responsibilities or give away. I agree there's a difference, right? But I think that the real thing that he did that was wrong was humiliate her based on numbers. And I think in reality, like, Noah and the way he talked, I think it was just a symptom of a larger, like, cultural issue within Twitch and YouTube. And I think that that's why also it bothered so many streamers, and so many streamers spoke out against it, because I think everyone just feels shitty about it. And no matter how big you are, and almost the bigger you are, the worse you feel about it, because the more you're judged for it. Like, you think Destiny doesn't give a shit about this? I'm sure he cares about it. When people rag on him for Hassan being bigger than him, I'm sure, because even though Destiny's so huge compared to most people, even though I'm huge compared to most people, and I only have like, what, 200 something views right now? In reality, if you have like 10 viewers, you are way better than most people, but you're probably comparing yourself to the person who has 20 viewers. And like people, and no matter what view number or follower number you get, you're always comparing yourself to the people that are bigger than you. And everyone else compares yourself to them. And it just sucks. It's a toxic environment. Crazy that to be 1% on Twitch, you just need like 25 average viewers. Yeah. And I mean, like the stress of viewer count and stuff also, like it's a lot for streamers. It sucks. I think that's what bothered everyone so much about what he said, because it's like we were all really insecure about it, and to hear someone just say it out loud, like it's interesting. Christoph Lee, like a lot of people have everyone's like kind of chimed in about this. Even Alinity said something, which I found was really interesting. Yeah.
Super hype about it. And then my agency comes back to me and they're like, hey, Alinity, I know you really want to work with them, but the offer they're making is just outright offensive. And I was like, come on, like how bad can it be? They're friends of my friends.
That's what people told me. Like when I had people look through the offer from them, they were like, yeah, the offer is really bad. I still went with them. I'm a dumbass sometimes.
Like, let's look at it. And then my agent is like, no, like they're asking for a bunch of stuff from you, a ton of stuff, and they're offering you $300 a month. And you guys, yes. And I was like, okay, I remember when I used to make $300 a month from someone. And I probably shouldn't talk about the sponsorship, but I made $300 a month. Yo, Nelson, what's up? I made $300 a month back when I averaged like 500 viewers.
Well, that's what Alinity had to say about it. And Christoph Lee said something.
Who asked me to take a look at their Artesian builds PC was just like, I'm not getting the performance I need to get out of this computer. How come it's not working? And we took a look at everything on her computer, and then we took a look at the control panel to see what was wrong with the performance. And then we realized that there was some type of EVGA software on there that I hadn't seen before. Apparently it was EVGA's fucking overclocking program. And we found out that...
So he's accusing them of like throttling. Now this is something that I've noticed that happens. So especially with like canceling. So Artesian Builds is getting canceled on Twitter, right? Like that's what was going on because of all the shit that was happening. And so with cancellation, everyone starts just looking at them. So people pull up Noah's LinkedIn. People pull up all of the things that Noah was doing, his Instagram, etc. Then people start looking into his PCs. Oh, maybe the PCs are built badly, right? And I'm sure there are mistakes here and there. They build thousands and thousands of PCs. But like, there's this weird instinct to like, because someone gets caught doing something bad, they must have done everything about them must be bad. And I just feel like it's a toxic hole that we shouldn't be falling into. Of course, it's okay to cancel companies. I agree. But like that's why I try to give you guys like a measured experience from me. Like, yeah, I didn't end up what I initially wanted, but I still ended up incredibly happy. Yeah, Noah was not nice to deal with, but he was incredibly competent and produced me a really great PC and fixed everything and was incredibly knowledgeable about what he was doing. So it's like, just because he can be a dick doesn't mean he's dumb. Just because like they didn't treat their ambassadors well doesn't mean that they don't build good computers. And so it's just important to be kind of like measured, like when it comes to this stuff.